Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Cobalt Mood. Hope you had a great weekend. I don't really know what happened this weekend. I know that I spent a lot of time resting. My body and mind finally joined and they were like, we don't want to do anything. That's the result. So yeah, took it very easy, very slow. And now I'm trying to get back into the swing because this is the week where it's going to really count on how much stock I can get. I did spend some time trying to figure out what my schedule needs to look like. I thought I was actually doing good for myself. I was booked every other week through Rover, and then I blocked the days in between. Well, the stays are not far enough apart that I actually am gonna have to pick up enough this week to cover 4 weeks. So what's happening is I have, starting tomorrow, 12th through the 19th to find stock, and then I'm gonna be booked for a week, and then I only have 4 days until my parents arrive. And then they're here for like a full week, and then I only have 2 days after they leave until the next stay arrives. So I don't know what happened, but yeah, it just didn't work out. Like, there's not enough time in between to also find enough stock for the following stay. So in order to not have all the pressure be on those 2 days in June, I need to basically move everything up, and that lies on this week coming up. In the past, when I have done marathon sourcing trips, I have, been able to pick up like 44 items or 55 items to cover the full week. So I have done that before, but I have not done picking up for 4 weeks before. And what I think is going to need to happen, okay, also pray for me, send me good vibes, guys, because like I'm also pretty much out of stock now. So not only am I going to have to source for 3 weeks in the future, I also need to do these marathon sourcing days and then come home and list my 8 items for the day because I don't have any stock for this week. And it's also very confusing, okay, because the dates are really random. I'm going to have to like maybe put them in trash bags, and like I'm going to have basically 5 batches that I'm going to need to do. And I think since I'm recording every day, Monday through Friday, you'll get a sliver of what this week looked like, and I think I'll just count with you where I am in terms of getting stock for future weeks, because even though I mapped it out, it's still really confusing for my brain because it changes based off of the days I need covered. So, for example, this week I need to get 64 items to cover this week. I need to get 48 items to cover my next day, May 20th through the 25th, the last 2 days of June, which is when my parents arrive. I planned, without having stock yet, of course, I plan to take that whole time they're here off. And so not only do I need to get stock for that time period, but I also need to find time to list for those 8 days that they're here so I can schedule out those listings. It's probably going to be too much already to do a full day of sourcing to find my items, come home, list an additional 8 items. When I've done this before, I've fallen asleep at the computer. Like, let's be real. So I don't see how I have time to then schedule out an additional week this week. So I'm going to double up next week when I have the dog here. That is the week I will do my listings for that week. Hopefully I'll have enough stock. So that would be 48 items. Plus, when my parents are here, I need 72 items. So, anyways, see, it's just confusing. Next week, when I'm here with a dog, I am going to list for the week that the dog is here, and then also the week that my parents are here. I'm going to schedule it out. So I'll have, what is that? 2 sets of listings. Maybe that's not bad. Okay, but then I also, like I'm like short circuiting. Like, I think maybe I need to like visually show this. And the issue why I think everything it needs to go into this week is because if I'm staying home on the days that the dog is here, then I can't also source for the next week unless I like online source, but online source would have to be local pickup because getting items to flip via eBay is going to take too long to ship to the house. Okay. Stopping things there, I will say today has been a cluster already. So let me just quickly go into story time so I can get out this embarrassment, and maybe by admitting what the hell happened this morning, I can get it out, recover, and then re-swivel my head back to straight because I feel like I'm on whiplash. That's what it feels like. So, okay. The dogs that I had here were supposed to get picked up at 4 today. And this weekend, remember I told you guys I finally got into my relaxation mode. Well, my house looked a bit like a rat lived there in a New York apartment. Like the rooms were clean, but the rooms that the client would see were a little bit crazy. Like I had random things that I shipped to myself. I had like a huge set of my cutting shears on my dining room table. Like my kitchen island was completely just filled, and I can only close so many doors to pretend like I have my crap together. So yeah, woke up, and I think I did this to myself because I stayed up late last night watching this really funny comedy show. So I blame this on Kevin Hart. Okay, so this morning I woke up at like 9 or so. And the dogs, remember, they eat at 7. So I'm like, okay, I better like go feed them. They're probably really hungry and angry at me. And I get this message from the owner being like, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing my dogs today. I'm going to be there at 10. And I was like, ooh, okay. Immediately got up, let them out, fed them. And then I started massively cleaning. And then I was like, I don't know when the last time I took a shower. Like, anybody who has depression knows what I mean. Sometimes you just lose track of showers. Even if you took a shower, you're so like outside of your body that you have no tracking of time. So I was like, I don't know when the last time was. I don't know when the last time I changed my shirt, which is sometimes problematic because I just wear black shirts. So like it all looks the same. Okay, so anyways, I'm like, let me shower before my client arrives. I like cleaned the kitchen, like half the kitchen. There were still dishes in there. Jumped in the shower, and as I'm like in the shower, I realized, oh my God, I think I had therapy this morning. So I jumped out of the shower, check my phone. Sure enough, it's like 20 minutes past when I was supposed to show up for therapy. Like, clearly that's not happening. Don't have the time. And of course, it was like, this should be like a comedy special, guys, because I was like frantically trying to text my therapist, like, I'm so sorry. I can't make it. But my hands were wet from the shower. So all I was able to text was, hi, I'm so sorry. And then no other explanations could go. Miraculously, I could delete characters, but I could not finish the rest of my sentence. So with conditioner still in my hair, I wrapped myself in a towel. I walked across my house to get my computer, hoping to God that I didn't open all the blinds that morning. Luckily, safe. Got my computer. The dog looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. And I grabbed my computer, which somehow is attached to my phone. I don't know how it happened, but thank God it did. So I like texted my therapist. She's like, are you okay? Because I like never miss therapy. Messaged her and I was like, so sorry, can't make it. My client surprised me with an early pickup. And then I jumped back in the shower, finished my shower, got out, cleaned the rest of the kitchen like a mad woman. And then I sat on my couch with the dogs drinking coffee. When all this stuff happens before you have coffee, that's really where you know your day's going wrong. All of this happened before coffee. So of course my head was screwed on Wrong. Anyways, I'm sitting there listening to the birds, thinking about how I don't know how I got here. Like, how am I going to turn this around? And then I remembered, okay, she's coming at 10, which means I could actually source today to alleviate the pressure of the following week. But in order to do that, I need to have clothes to wear to go outside, because today I was going to do laundry to prepare for tomorrow. So I immediately got up, grabbed my my clothing to take downstairs to go wash. And when I get to the wash, sure enough, I find the towels. It was like bed sheets and like a huge fluffy blanket in the washing machine. It smelled so bad, like mildew. And I'm like, I don't know when I left you in here either. Like, when did I last do laundry? I don't know, but I clearly only did half of it. So then I was like, okay, I need like a house cleaner to come in and fix my shit. Like, I don't know what's happening. I clearly am not capable of being a human. And like, what is life? So I like redid that wash. Still don't have clothes because I had to redo the laundry in there. And yeah, I don't know what's happening, guys, but it's not looking good for today. So while it's washing now, I now need to stay home. So then I looked at what sold, and I figured let's end on what sold, because at this point I feel like I'm just a freaking hurricane. Like, just so many thoughts, so many like, it's just, today is just sucks. It already sucks. I don't like it. Okay, so what sold? Very slow weekend. I had one sale that was out of my squirrel brain shelf. I'm sorry, this transition is really awful. It is this kind of Greek hat. It does have the certificate of authenticity on it, which I thought was cool. It does have, I don't know if you can see it, the text on here. This sold in 44 days. I don't know. I need to get out of hats, guys. Like, I was picking up like cartoon, like Peanuts bucket hat, Waluigi hat, and now I kind of moved into these random hats. And I even got this, I think it's leather, safari hat. Like, the squirrel has gone too far away. I need to wrangle it back in, and I'm just like, what is happening? Okay, next one. This one actually sold on Friday. It is a dino by the creator Mariah Elizabeth. Here's the tag. Mariah Elizabeth is a YouTuber. She takes a plush and then she customizes them, basically. And so this was probably a creation. She probably painted this on and added this. It was like maybe felt at one point. People liked the design, and she ended up making the plush version of them to launch in the world. This is considered the medium size. She also makes these like mini 6-inch size plush that come out of like mystery boxes. The medium size always do good for me. I've sold now this pink version, but I also sold a green version. Anyways, this guy took 8 days to sell, and I got, oh, I don't think I mentioned the hat. Okay, so I got 45 for the dino, a total of 57 after shipping. And the hat I sold for $15 and $25 after shipping. If you see Mariah Elizabeth in the world, the medium size, she has a lot of other characters that she makes, but the dinos have sold now for me twice, so I would say that is the character you want to look out for. The dino is about 11 inches tall, and yeah, both of the green and the pink one I sold were around that $45 to $50 price. So, good brand. Gotta be careful with some YouTubers. They don't like you selling their stuff and will give you policy violations, but Mariah Elizabeth seems to be okay for now. Even saying that, I feel like I've started to like, focus. This is what I do for a living. I can talk normally. I can talk straight and precise. We laugh so we don't cry. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.